What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Thursday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and we are back after a cool down. Wednesday, we go 1-2. The under for the Thunder and Phoenix. I mean, it went by my number. It closed at 227 and a half. It fell 227. 225 and a half is what I played. More on that game here in just 1 second. Lakers fly over. Lakers get blown out by the Spurs. So that is a 1-2 night, down 1.2 units. I knew that the Suns would get shut down. What I did not realize is that the Suns were going to give up 138 some odd points, and that the starters for the Thunder would be on the bench for the entire fourth quarter, and it was G League time, and it was G League jacking threes in the fourth quarter. So that was frustrating because even with all that going on, we almost cashed it still. We still almost came in and went 2-1 on the night. It was a bucket. So that was annoying. So unfortunately, we don't get the third straight 2-1 night. We go 1-2 as we head towards a Thursday. I've already given you one of the plays here today. It was Wednesday's Hard Rock bet of the day. We'll get back into that here in just 1 second, but let's tell you about Hard Rock Bet. They are the presenting sponsors of the Daily Juice Podcast, and these guys want you to know that the sports schedule is pretty darn packed. Lots of stuff going on with football, bowl games, NBA, college hoops. It's a whole sports sleigh that's loaded, and Hard Rock Bets got you something to unwrap and bet on. New customers can sign up for a $5 bet on any game, and if you win, get your winnings plus 150 in bonus bets on top of that. If you don't know what place your first bet on, Hard Rock Bet just launched a brand new For You page, making it easy to find all your favorite teams, players, and leagues. The Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app is the only legal sportsbook for wherever you're in Florida, but it's also live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, Colorado, and now in Michigan. Hard Rock Bet with new promos every day, so download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit today. So I've told you about the Tampa Bay bet, that was made on Wednesday, and I think there's data to go and back up. If you want to go ahead and fade it and you want to lay or take the points, I don't think it's a horrible play. I'm not going to say you're completely crazy for doing that. I have come in and decided to just lay the 4, which was the basement for this number, and at time of tape, we are back to 4 or 4.5 for most books. Okay, I have 4. You can find 4s in the marketplace. There's even, Fanatics is at 5 tonight, so there's a straggler there with Fanatics. But the numbers, for me, it really comes down to just the fact that Kirk Cousins cannot be trusted in primetime, and it's less on Baker's injury, and Baker is a home favorite. I mean, things have not been good. Baker Mayfield overall at home as a home favorite. He is 13-24-1 ATS. That is not good. Over the last decade, Baker Mayfield's mark of 22-35-1 ATS at home overall is the worst out of the 149 quarterbacks in the NFL. Baker is the worst at home, ATS-wise. Number 2 is Kirk Cousins, but he's on the road here. But I think it comes down to the fact that the Falcons have been really bad outdoors. They've been really bad in divisional games and really bad in primetime. These games generally are played closely, but I think if you lay the 4, I think we're going to be okay. Baker Mayfield with a historically bad loss last week. He, as a 7-point favorite in his career, was 11-0 straight up before he lost to New Orleans last week. So it's a great bounce back spot. Outdoor games this year, the Falcons are 0-5 straight up, 2-3 ATS. The Falcons have lost 7 straight games outdoors heading into this week, and they're 11-21 straight up in outdoor games since 2020, and they're coming off that destruction by the Seahawks, 31-3 in the second half for Seattle. So we're taking Tampa -4 tonight here for 1.1 units. There is one prop bet that I like, and it does come from the prop bet cheat sheet, and that is Bijan Robinson to go under 4.5 receptions. Now, Bijan Robinson, this number has been 4.5 or 5.5 pretty much every game, dating all the way back to, the San Francisco game in week 7. He has gone under this number in 4 of the last 5 games. He had 2 catches last game. He had 5 against the Jets in the last road game, but 2 against New Orleans, 4 against Carolina, and 2 against Indianapolis. This is a 5-star play according to the prop bet cheat sheet with a 63% cover probability and a plus 34 expected value on this play. It's gone under 7 of the 13 games this year. So pretty much it's a coin flip 50-50. But I think given the way that Kirk Cousins plays, the pass rush, I think is going to be in his lap. I don't think he's going to be able to find Bijan Robinson. Last week, he was not looking for Bijan Robinson with only 2 receptions. Against the Saints on the road, he was not looking for him, only 2 receptions. This is a guy who I think has been used a lot more. In the first matchup, Bijan Robinson at home had 6 catches against this Bucs defense. But since week 8 against Miami, he's only gone over 2 times, over 4.5. So this is 5-2 to the under over the last 7 weeks. They're not using Bijan as a catcher of the football. And this is a really weird stat that the Action Network pulled out for this game here tonight. How about this? Over the last 3 years, where is this? Yeah, over the last 3 seasons, 2 teams below 500 when they run the ball 25 times or more. The Titans are 9-14, and the Falcons are 14-21, and that is with Bijan Robinson. Last week, Atlanta had 31 carries for 120 yards, but they lost the game 37-9. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. Kirk Cousins is 1-8 ATS over his last 9 starts, probably because they can't move the football through the ground, on the ground or through the air. And when they run the ball a lot, they're not successful in doing it. Kirk Cousins is 17-26-1 ATS since 2022. The only quarterbacks active he's ahead of are Geno Smith and Mac Jones. And over that span, Cousins starts in December or later, is 2-9 ATS. This is Falcons, and this is under on most of the offensive player props for the Falcons here, including Bijan Robinson. We're going to go under Bijan Robinson, 4.5 receptions at plus money at plus 112. One NBA play to get into here for tonight, and it's my Boston Celtics on the road against the Milwaukee Bucks. Wrong sport, Bruce. Here's the thing. I've been watching this and betting this on my own. I've not brought it to the podcast because I feel like it's a little bit of a homer play, and you guys roll your eyes whenever I bet the Celtics. Have you guys been paying attention to what Boston has been doing ATS-wise? They've covered 8 straight games, and they're 9-1 over their last 10. In fact, Boston is now 10-7 ATS-wise against the East after a horrific start to the season ATS-wise for Boston. This streak began back on the 23rd of November. They beat and covered against Orlando. They beat and covered against Detroit. They beat and covered Minnesota. And then the numbers started to get really interesting. They were catching 7.5 against Cleveland. They won the game outright. They were catching 1.5 against the Knicks. They won outright. They were laying 10.5 against Washington, and they won by 45 points. They were laying 8.5 against the Lakers. They won by 21 points, and they were laying 3.5 against Toronto, and they won by 8. In the last game for the Bucks, they were catching 12.5, and they lost by 12. Game before that, they were catching 1.5, and they lost by 15. And these are the games they played without Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is out. He will not play here today, and without him, this is a paper tiger basketball team. The Bucks are not the same team defensively. They're not the same team offensively. They are really lacking any firepower without their star, their Hall of Fame player in Giannis. This has been an unbelievable run for the Celtics. Outright, Boston has won 5 games in a row and 7 of 8 outright. think they win the game outright here tonight, and I'll lay a big number. I don't normally lay 8.5 here, but without Giannis, Milwaukee looking as bad as they did over the last 2 games, and the way that Boston's been playing with Jaylen Brown, I'll lay it. Boston, minus 8.5 for 1.1 units. So the plays for Thursday, Tampa Bay minus 4 for 1.1 units. Bijan Robinson under 4.5 receptions, and the Celtics in the NBA at minus 8.5. If you guys want more, including a breakdown of every game that will happen on Sunday from a betting perspective, plus a look at the college football playoffs from a betting perspective, you can join me later today on my other show, The Bostonian versus the Book. To go and find it, search at Boston versus the Book on Twitter, X, or on YouTube. I'll go live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Audio podcasts can be found wherever you guys get your audio podcasts by searching The Bostonian versus the Book. 1 o'clock for Falcons Bucks Thursday Night Football. Full breakdown coming on for BVB later today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time at Boston versus the Book on Twitter or on YouTube. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.